Well, hi there, gorgeous beings. So good to be here. And as everyone joins us, I'm so happy to see you. Hi, Susan. Look, I'm the best grandpa ever. What? Welcome to day 2, everyone. Yay for day 2. Hi, Janet. So, where do we go from here? Transcending victimhood. You know, it's really interesting. We don't even realize that we're in victimhood half the time, which is why we don't transcend it. Being in victimhood, how you know is that you're complaining about something. So I'm going to say that again. The number one way to know that you are being a victim of something. And the hard part about this is that as I say that, you might think, well, sometimes people are victims of something. Now, I've been on the, for instance, the wrong side of a rape. That was not fun. I have also had someone stalk me or pseudo stalk me. Also not fun. I've had quite a few and a number of fun, interesting experiences in my life. And you might say, well, weren't you a victim of those people? And weren't they the perpetrators? And I would say to you, I've also had migraines. So we could say that I was a victim of the migraines. Maybe. I would put forth another idea. That in fact, we're not victims of COVID. Not that people haven't suffered, not that people haven't succumbed, but we're simply experiencers of what is in front of us. And from that experience, we have the opportunity to take the contrast that's in front of us and make choice. And that's a hard one to take on, because when we've forgotten that we have the capacity to change the world and that we're connected to each other and we're also connected to the infinite, when we've forgotten that we have serious metaphysical superpowers, and when I say that, I don't mean that from a woo point of view. I mean we have trillions of cells picking up on photon packages of light about the world, others, our environment, but we're so busy trying to manage or control our three-dimensional reality that we forget that we're superpowered. When you forget that you're superpowered, you will feel very much like a victim of your three-dimensional reality. I can tell you that I probably wouldn't be doing this for a living. I probably wouldn't be talking to who I'm talking to. I probably wouldn't be, here with you today. I probably wouldn't be, evolving my ability to assist people to evolve, or making myself available to those that want to make quantum leaps in life, people who want to be agents of awakening, unless I went through some of those experiences, because they actually demonstrated perfectly how the way I approached life and my paradigm about life emanated out of me. And it was kind of interesting that what came back from life to kind of get me out of that loop was perfect, really. I was just talking to one of my clients today as an example of victimhood. was talking to one of my clients today about working in his job and how he doesn't agree with his manager and how he gets really angry. And he said, but I'm right. And I said, yeah, you might have a more optimal solution for managing the team. That's true. In fact, what you said sounds more right to me. But I said to him, are you in position of changing that in any way? And do you even want to? Is that something you want to change? Do you want to spend your energy dollar when you have like 18 kids at home? Not 18, but he has a lot of kids. And you have a beautiful wife that loves you. Do you really want to spend your energy dollars on that with your manager? He said, well, no. I said, right now you're being a victim of your manager. He said, oh. I said, what do you do with your wife when you get in an argument where you guys don't agree? And he said, well, we just agree to disagree. And I said, do you think that might work at work? You see, when you choose to be a victim of something, what happens is you get one of three things. One is, and see which style that you have. You can put it into the chat. I'd love to hear. Because what we want to do in today's conversation is have you actually be able to come back to a powerful place no matter what's in front of you. I'd like you to write down two things. One of the things is, what is it that you have felt a victim of? And I'm going to put it another way. What is it that you have felt powerless over lately or in your life? Just write it into the chat right now. Okay? Just write it into the chat. What have you felt powerless over? Hi, Joya. Hi, Becky. What have you felt powerless over? Just put it in the chat. So the second piece of that, because I want to make sure this is a very practical conversation, right? Write it in. It could be more than one thing. Trust me, it could be more than one thing. Some of you have felt powerless over, aging or the aches in your bones or that your body's never going to be the same as when you were, 25. I just felt a few, oh yeah, right? So age. You've been a victim of the societal perception of age. You've been a victim of, I have a weak immune system. Right? So my question to you is this. It's such a simple concept. It's such a simple concept. Being a victim is feeling like the only way to be a victim is feeling like you have nothing to say or no way out of a situation. Now you might think, but I know there's a way out. Yet we continue to complain about it. And trust me, even though I teach some very deep concepts around this, just to be vulnerable. The other day, Adam and I were having a conversation about, sometimes he can get really, emotional about things. And I'm like, whoa. And, being someone who's sensitive is like, wow, that's a lot. And occasionally I can get into this place of, man, that's too much. Now, as soon as I said that's too much, I went, geez, how many people have told me I'm too much? That's the last thing I want to think about my sweetie. I don't want to be a victim of his too muchness, whatever that means. So, have you ever been told that you're too much? Right? So I thought, wow, I've been doing this for maybe 4 years. And then I realized that is not his problem. That is really, now there might be something to ask for from him. And Janet, write it down. I'd love to hear. Hey, Raylene, over there in Australia. So, What is it? So the instant I had that in my perception was the instant I realized that I was projecting on him what many had projected on me. I realized that I had to switch something instantly. I really did. I had to switch something pretty darn quickly. And so the thing that I switched that was super duper powerful, and I'm sure you'll want to use this, is that I realized the instant that there's a problem, or the instant that I perceive there's a problem, or the instant I start contracting. So that's another reason how you know you're being a victim, is you contract. Okay? You contract. Your body contracts. You pull away. So I was saying earlier, there are 3 ways that you know. One way is that you contract. The other way is you get feisty and you fight. Right? Instead of contracting, you actually fight. And the third way you might see yourself as a victim is you basically acquiesce. Oh, well, that's just the way it's going to be. If you did that in a marriage all the time, it is going to end. That is just how it is. So when I was talking to my friend, I'll full circle that story and then I'll come back to Adam. When I was talking to my friend, I said, okay, what are we going to do the next time your boss is a dickhead? To you, from your framework. You know, divine child of God, carefully disguised as a dickhead. What are you going to do? And we made up a practice that put him back in his power, because the instant you say that person is a dickhead, or that person is doing something that you don't like, and you spend a lot of time on it, is the instant that you're co-opting your precious energy towards something where you could use that energy for something you really like. But now you're exhausting your body systems, and when you go to the things that you like and the people that you like, you don't have any energy left. In fact, you'll cancel parties, you won't go to things because you're tired, because you're constantly in resistance to the things that you don't like. So I said, what are we going to do? And we came up with a plan. And the plan was, he's going to take 3 deep breaths. The first breath, he's going to ask the question, am I even willing to fix this issue? If the answer is no, then there's really no point in giving any more energy to it. The second is, do I have a better place to spend my energy than this? That's his second breath. Okay? And the third question, when he feels a victim of his circumstances, is, what can I do right now to actually give energy to something that I really love instead? Because you see, if he just remained with the first 2 questions, he would still be in survival mode. It's like, okay, I'm okay. It's like someone's constantly kicking you in the shins and somehow you got them to stop. Well, that would be the booby prize. How do you actually have an incredibly healthy body where nobody ever kicks you in the shins? Well, that's the third question. The third question is, what can he do to put energy on that which he loves and that which he wants to expand? And so he said, I'll phone my wife and tell her how much I love her. Or I'll send a stupid video to my kids. Or I'll, whatever it is that he wants to do. Or he'll crack a joke with someone where he works, something. It's pretty powerful. 3 breaths. Now, I don't always do the 3 breaths with everyone, but that's what worked for him. I don't do the same 3 breaths with every person either. I actually talked to someone related to him later in the day, and I gave her 3 different breaths. It's very, very powerful. So, you might think, yeah, but look at what's going on in the world. In fact, your heels might even be dug in. You might feel extremely righteous about what's going on in the world right now. All power to you. And you might even be right, just like my client this morning. You might even be right about the stuff that you're annoyed by. But unless you're willing to put your energy dollars into actually creating change in that area, then I wouldn't put any attention on it at all, because as soon as you complain to other people and you commiserate over it, you're actually adding energy to the thing that's wrong. So you're better off just putting your energy on a sunset, than you are co-conspiring in complaint with someone about something. Because in physics, you just told physics that you're interested in more of the thing that you're complaining about. Picking up what I'm putting down? So with my husband, every time it got too much for me, I go for a walk. Interestingly enough, I go for a walk down by the river. If it's raining, I go for a drive in the mountains. I go for a walk, or I get out, or I go work somewhere else. And you might say, well, he's driven you out of the house. No, not even in the least. I actually like that. You know what the bonus is when I take care of myself is I create space for him. When I actually follow my bliss, that space for him actually allows him to have more spaciousness to be able to be in his heart. Lo and behold, it's a complete win-win. It only takes one, it doesn't take both people to change. It only takes one person to change. It only takes one person to change. Okay? So my friends, the reason these 12 days have been created is because I woke up a couple of days ago thinking, how am I going to get people to really receive the Unstuck book? Because this is one of the concepts in the Unstuck book, but we're going into concepts in physics that are so delicious, and epigenetics and all sorts of stuff. And I knew that in 12 days we could kind of like open the portals. We're not doing the exercises. There are 12 exercises in there because we literally build 12 profound brain bridges on the subject of money, on the subject, all sorts of subjects. Money, relationships, love, everything. And those brain bridges completely change your default. Remember how I told you how we spoke about just a second ago, how you're either living in survival mode or it's like you just want someone to stop kicking you in the shins? That's still a victim thinking. We want to get to nobody ever kicks you in the shins, right? Like, how do you actually get to that place? So what we're doing in these 12 days, and please tell a friend, because every day we're going to go deeper and deeper and more profound. Get them to listen to the recordings, pass them on, share them all you want. And I want you to know that tomorrow we're starting Thriving Operating System 2. So there is no one of the 12 days. We're skipping tomorrow. Okay, I will post a little message on the page, probably to be scheduled for 5:55, giving you a little love note or something, but we're skipping tomorrow, okay? So, and on February 3rd, when we launch the book, I want every single one of you to make sure you register. It helps us. I'm going to help you. Someone's going to win a one-on-one with me, which is $1,800. You know, and we're going to go through some of the exercises, and I'm going to make an announcement on a free class that I expect to have 1,000 people on because the subject is so juicy. So on February 3rd, we're announcing all of that, and it's a big celebration of the book release. So if you haven't registered yet, thewideawakening.com/unstuck. Please, please ask your questions in these 12 days. Go deep. Let yourself be vulnerable. I'm here for you. That's the only reason we do this, is so that we can live in a world where instead of complaining about what we don't want, we're actually creating our own lives the way we want. And as Rumi said, you're a drop in the, you're not a drop in the ocean. You're the ocean in a drop. The drop that is you is the entire ocean. Everything you change within you changes in the entire ocean. And that, my friends, thank you, Rumi, is how you get out of victim mode. All right, you guys, I'll see you again we'll see you on Friday. You'll see in the announcement all of the subjects we're covering. Each of them, we're going to just touch on some stories, move some energy, just really build a bridge to something being possible, okay? And I love you. And for those of you on the Agents of Awakening page, stick around for a second. Don't go anywhere.